I have Stefanie Butler here for a singing lesson. It's not your traditional singing lesson. This is about opening your voice so that your soul lessons can come through. Because a voice can be used for many things. Yes, sing a song, your own or someone else's. Yell, express wild emotion, but also sound is an energy that has not existed before you utter it. So you can use it as a very powerful tool between realms, between the physical and the spiritual. I use it a lot with talking to the weather, clouds, water, currents of air and water, and other things, crystals, anything you want. Now, Stefanie interviewed me recently about my work, what I do. I have a group on Facebook, Elementals Combat Weather, and that's how she found me. And so we had a little joke in the interview, and I said, no, I'm sure we can open up more in your voice. So although I'm sitting down, and standing up is really the best way to sing, we'll see if she's sitting or standing, but we're going to have a session and see how far we can open up her voice into different sounds, places, and spaces so that she is able to bring a little more of her spiritual, her soul energy through and use it in any number of diverse ways.
Hello.
Hello. Have you done something different to your hair? You look very beautiful, but different. Ta-da!
Probably had my headphones on when we were talking.
Ah, maybe, yes, because it was much darker around your head in my photographic memory. You know, the sort of vague memory. It's like there was something else, more contrast. So sorry.
Yeah, well, I just interviewed a guest yesterday and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this on." She has a big audience and she said she'd share it, but it would have to be the video, which I didn't know till after the thing and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I looked at it to make sure I wasn't like picking my nose or
Yeah, because of course you do that all the
but it
time.
was like, I have these big old headphones on and I'm all like, rah, rah, rah. Whatever.
Well, the image we see, I just wrote this little post today where that should give me the right temperature. Ah, the image we see affects you so much, doesn't it? I just wrote about how someone who does not like you is never going to take a beautiful photograph of you, whereas someone who's in love with you will take a very special, gorgeous one. So yeah, very
Well,
important.
I don't know about all that. If that's true, I've never been truly loved that. No, just so I have no idea what we're doing today, which is very
Okay,
exciting.
I like that. So I just did a tiny little preamble introduction, and what I said in it, hello, Stephanie, is that we'd had this little tiny conversation when you interviewed me about you suggesting that it might be difficult for you to use your voice fully. And I said, oh, I think I have other opinions about that, which is very, very arrogant of me. But
Well, I think, I mean, that's true. But I also, I've had this like whatever, this craziness that affected my voice greatly and is still affecting it. And it's been like over a month. The fog. That's what I don't care what anybody says. It was the fog. I
yeah,
know it was the fog
oh, yeah,
because I never get sick,
yeah.
and I wasn't around anybody. Anyway,
And you
um,
got that in Florida, didn't you, on a trip
yes,
as well?
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's you posted about that guy tested the fog in Florida, and in fact, my guest yesterday has a place in Florida and was down there, and she also was like, yeah, and she's a pretty healthy person too, and she got it too, so. So when people are like, "Oh, what was it?" and I'm like, bioterrorism," and they're all just like, "Oh God, here goes Stephanie," and it's like, really? Have you looked up in the sky lately? People
There's
don't look up, is what I'm realizing.
or they don't look down, and that's underground, all those labs that there's enough documentation around it that at least since the 40s they've been at it. I just read the last Peter Moon book about the biological warfare going on between the States and Japan because anyway, dark and dastardly things. Japan being the goody in that it brought this via high jet stream air balloons. It brought big packages of the warfare it was going to drop, and it left little samples at Roswell, at Area 51, for the military base to pick up and examine. And it was basically that Emperor Hirohito saying, we could, we could spread this over the entire United
I
States.
know, it's
What do
true.
you want? Shall we make a deal?
China is like China too. I mean, China has enough drones to just come over and wipe out the entire nation, really. I
Yeah.
mean, but thank goodness we hopefully a lot of our neocons are on their way out. But I don't know. I mean, people are also freaked out about Trump or they're like bowing to him. And I'm like, if you put your happiness or power in any government official, bless your heart, because you're not going to have a real great life.
Yeah, and I mean that level of shall we put the deadly chemicals in the sky or not? Shall we sacrifice 10,000 soldiers to see whether, and that was United States did that. Britain, I know, do all that all the time. Let's try out this drug. Ah, that's another level from us humans. They're either non-humans or they're something else. Probably there's something else. So it's like it's not really our business, but we have to do our business. And your
Yeah.
voice is part of that business. So, how about we look and see what we could do to soothe and clear it?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, do you ever find yourself just singing, like in the shower?
Yes. I
Good.
sing all the time.
Okay, cool. Of
People
course
are
you
like,
do.
"Do you have a song for everything?" Yes. I probably haven't been doing it lately. That was when I lived, with children and kids and I live alone now, which I love. But um so not only do I sing to myself, I've ended up talking to myself.
It's excellent. Everyone should. That nonsense line of it's first sign of madness is actually the first sign of sanity because you can love yourself like no one else can. It's very important, isn't it? So, okay, do you make up songs or are you singing songs that you know in appropriate places?
Oh, I have made up so many songs.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm just
So
laughing
when
at.
let's say you're in a happy place, you're singing in the shower, it's great to have all that moisture, really helps, especially in the winter, all of this gets dried out with the heating.
Right. I
So
don't really sing in the shower though. That's probably the one place I don't sing.
I might get you to, not today, but in your own time. So I'm just going to add the volume a little bit for me. Um,
Okay.
so, okay, maybe you're in your car, another really great place, I think, to sing because you've got an enclosed space. It's almost like a sound recording booth. So let's imagine you're in your car
Okay.
and you're singing something. Um, could you give me a tiny demonstration of the kind of tone, the kind of sound you would use if you just imagine you're in your car, just so I can hear what's going on in your voice? A little tiny snippet phrase, and imagine you're sitting there happily having a little sing.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Now all of a sudden I'm like drawing complete blanks.
of
What should I
course. That
say?
always happens. That's classic.
Um,
That's
um,
everyone.
um, um. Okay, I'll sing a little snippet from a song of mine. Wake up, doesn't matter how you vote, 'cause truly people, we're all in the same boat. They want us divided and they want us to fall. So let's get divided and take out the cabal. I sing that.
Nice, nice. And you're using your whole body. Okay, so the place where I felt you've got, let's say, discomfort or pain in your throat is it's not necessarily in the vocal cords, but if you imagine the vocal cords going upwards on the back of your throat and all the
Mhm.
way up to your nose felt really dry and crackly. Is that the kind of experience you've got?
Well, I think that's yes, you can hear this is not my n normal voice. So that's probably where I'm still coughing at night and I still am coughing up stuff. So I think I have congestion maybe still there, but uh and so I don't feel as though vocally I'm as powerful as I can be, but yes, I can certainly feel that when you said it. I felt that.
So I
Yes.
wasn't necessarily listening for tone. You've got a beautiful rhythm, you've got perfect pitching, all of that's gorgeous.
Oh, no,
What
I
I was
don't have
listening-
perfect
You
pitching,
d-
but
you only did a slight relative change at the end. You do have good pitch. I'm telling you. Enough.
thank you, because
Um,
I've always told myself I'm tone deaf because I go off pitch.
No, well, that's if you're singing all on your own, you've got nothing to be relative to. So if I make up a song and I record it, it's always going to be at least a semitone lower in key at the end. So I have to decide, am I going to use the end key or the beginning key for the whole song? Because it's very hard to keep. You've got all the relative pitches, but by the time you finish 3 minutes of song, whatever, it it usually does descend. So it's useful sometimes to have an instrument to keep you at that level.
That's good to know.
Yeah, yeah. So you could be much more forgiving to yourself. But yeah, I was listening, feeling like an empathic kind of feeling of resonance into where the discomfort is. I suspect it's probably your lungs, the way all the little cilia are still trying to get the gunk out of the lungs. And that's the natural passage. And you feel it on the back because you have more nerves on the back of your esophagus than the front because of the way the voice box is. So I was feeling like all the way on the back of your windpipe and up into your nose, where all the cells are kind of working away, but they're got all this gunk. So I don't know whether have you done much steaming? A big bowl of water with some herbs in, head over it for 5 to 10 minutes with a towel.
No.
That would really help.
Yeah, it would. I think that was suggested to me. I do use a humidifier when in the winter, so I at least try and keep the air somewhat moist. But no, I have not,
That will
and
really help
I
get
think
rid
I
of that
would
stuff.
benefit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I would benefit greatly from that.
yeah.
Because
But
I
there's
still
something
can't
else.
really do deep breaths without coughing. My lungs are, I know,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, they're just trying to clear out. So just, you know, you can vary your herbs, whatever, just use water if you want and salt, or use different essential oils or fresh herbs, whatever you want to, but kind of go with your intuition on that. Pine needles, of course, are really good too for that.
Pine needles. How
Yeah.
about ginger? How about fresh
Yeah,
ginger?
ginger, brilliant, turmeric. Um, Thyme is brilliant too because the antiseptic, rosemary. But some of them are really potent. Basically, what you've got that you feel drawn to.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I mean, you can even put garlic in there if you don't mind the smell, because of course that's another wonderful antioxidant. Just sort of play around. You could do the whole grapefruit skin. When you make your own MSM, you could put rind in it or just plonk in some grapefruit skins. Just anything you're drawn to, and the moisture is the biggest thing, and the other things are like sub little. I suspect we
The
can
towel
also
over my head.
yeah, yeah, like this, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, over the bowl.
Okay.
And as long as feels comfortable, but 5 to 10 minutes is amazing. So just get it to a nice height where you feel, and you might want tissues, so that you're just comfortable in that breathing, like it's a little baby meditation, but you're just gently helping all of those. Because you've got all these spaces up here in the sinuses, here and here, and where the tear ducts are as well. And brilliant you're using a humidifier because most people don't think that way. But even so, stuff can stay in there, and you just want to kind of flush it out. So there's another way to flush it out
Okay.
to increase the power of your voice, and that's using overtones. So where we put, instead of the sound being kind of resonant here, it's much more here, but it's
Yeah.
often both at the same time.
Here or
Yeah,
here?
it's like, so you've seen pictures of skulls, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so think about the structure of the skull. You've got these lovely cheekbones, which are pretty hollow behind.
Right.
And then you've got the skull, but then you've got a few kind of spongy, bony bits in
Yeah.
this area. It's quite light bone structure, little
Yeah.
spaces in. It's almost like bird bone. It looks like that. There's quite a lot of spaces. And so when you sing into this area, it becomes your amplifier. All of those little tiny cavities, like lots of little mini amphitheaters in your face. Um, and so it's throwing the sound around like that. And it's one of the best ways for decongesting a nose. If
All
I've got
right.
a nose that, stuffed up and I've got a concert, I can do overtones and kind of clear out the gunk.
Mm,
So
mm.
the way to do it, I'm getting so warm by talking about it because it gets me so excited. Um,
I
it's
love your energy. I was so excited just to be in your energy today. I was like, yay.
okay, I'm glad we can play. I like the color you're wearing. That's like a perfect match, isn't it? It is beautiful.
Thank you. Green is I love green.
Ah, beautiful. I love it too. It's difficult to find clothes in green very often, but okay, let's think of that beautiful color. Now, when you make an overtone, all you're doing is, the soft palate of your back of your mouth,
Mhm.
right? Okay. So you need to kind of imagine that you're pressing up the back of the soft palate. And the sound as it comes up through your throat, it pushes against that soft palate. So it's like you're imagining the sound is coming up to your nose and out. So, there's some really strong twangs in the American language, like, that way when people talk through their noses, right? Okay.
I love to do accents. I can do a Southern accent.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that. Okay, can you go from can you do a real squeaky, compact nasal, say something about the
I
weather?
don't know. Like a mouse? No, that's not nasal. Is that nasal?
Um,
Um,
Those really cute kind of cheerleaders when they speak like that.
when
They're just
when he
squishing it.
talks like that to me, I don't really know if I'm doing it or not. Am
yes,
I? Am
okay,
I
yeah,
doing it?
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
when you're doing that, you're literally pushing the air up into
Okay.
this zone of your head face. Can you feel that? So,
Mm, mm.
mm. Okay. So now I'm going to get you to sing a note, any note, doesn't matter. You're going to choose it. And you're going to sing it normally, and then you're going to imagine you're pushing it up. Shall I
Okay.
demonstrate, or do you want to have a
Yes.
go first? Okay, so
No,
just go like
demonstrate.
la. So I'll do it again. La. Can you hear that?
Okay. Yeah. And
Mouth,
your mouth's got okay. Yeah.
any note you want.
I love it. I have free reign to sing instead of being told to be quiet, and I'm like, what should I do? Okay, here we go. La.
Yeah, yeah, you're getting it. Yes, okay. So now let's jump straight into the If you were writing it down, it would be either E R R R R R, but I prefer to say N N N N N N N N G G G G G. It's like Have a go. So you're singing it up there. It's like the N. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, you got it. Right, so let's go from an open mouth, normal singing, and then up to that again. Let's do three times. Have a go. Whichever. Yeah, yeah, really good. Okay. Can you feel that different
Yeah,
placement?
yeah.
Okay, and you
I've tried
should.
to sing overtones before because, I that's as a, but so I've tried to do this.
Yeah.
So,
I remember someone, I mean, I went to so many singing teachers and they would just say, oh, yes, just do this, but they never explained how. It was so bizarre. And so I think that's why I made it my business to explain how, because I was just fed up of these people who were just anyway, that's another story. Um, so
voice teachers, yes, they are another story. I had a really good one. I only went to one and she was fabulous, but she was anyway. I've been around a lot of singers in my life, and shall I just say they were quite diva-like.
It's weird though, because singing is a really non-egoic thing, isn't it? I think it's kind of pushing you're allowing through something, and it's so embarrassing to put your sound into the world, because everyone's going to hear it. So I think it's a very created personality. It's like they're actually incredibly shy, and so they make up this sort of blustery thing.
Hmm. I was around bigger egos than that. I mean, they were very serious about their, you know, one was a jazz singer and one was an operatic singer who moved into mainstream. I was an accompanist for them, and it was like they were quite serious, you know.
They will be encouraged that way. I mean, you go into that whole ethos. I remember auditioning for an opera, a little role, L'Eau perduta was, little Mozart girl I was supposed to be. And just, yes, this studied egotistical sense was, I think, had to be cultivated because they knew that was the only way they were going to be seen. And I was kind of much too sweet, really, for them to ever consider using. Um, because they felt that's the only way an audience or an orchestra would listen. They didn't know
Well,
about.
you had to command them. You had
Yeah,
to command the audience. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, let's have fun.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can see where you would not be serious enough.
that's right. So, okay, now did you feel when we were doing that the three times, did you feel any delightful but phlegm coming down out of your nose? Did you feel any movement
Um,
having to swallow?
perhaps because now that you mention it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's there still.
Yeah.
Came right on down into my throat.
And that's so brilliant. It sounds so horrible, but it's because we just slightly shook it.
You're clearing these cavities.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
what we're going to do is we're going to do more of that, but
Okay.
let's make it a little bit more complicated. Let's
Oh,
do
why
something
not?
like, why not? So we can do like, it's a really boring exercise, but you kind of go from your normal singing to
Okay.
two overtony sounds and come down again.
Well, you went up too, and
Yeah,
did
so
you go up in pitch? Oh no, you didn't change. Yeah. Ah,
but you take any note. If it's lower, it's better for you.
Sorry. Ah, all right.
Okay, okay, let's just go back to the simple
Sorry.
again. Just take your
I
one.
lost my overtoning
Is it,
ability suddenly.
mm,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it almost we could just do as a simpler one of
Okay.
just
Okay. All right. Ah.
okay.
I'm really using my tongue to push it up there. Is that
Yes, it
right?
is all of those muscles that are at the back of
Yeah.
the tongue.
Not to mention my rear end muscles. My butt is going.
Yes, good for your spine, isn't it? And all those
It's like,
back.
"Ooh." Okay.
Okay, so one thing you can
Ah.
play with for yourself, just anywhere you are,
Okay.
around the house,
Okay. Oh
doing
boy,
back in
I know what
healing.
this afternoon's going to sound like here.
Wiggly. So you can just do just something like that, very basic. You're starting to feel the muscles, aren't you? Okay,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, my
involved.
throat's getting tired.
Yeah, okay. So now we're going to kind of leave the throat and leave that, and let's just, when you make an ooh sound, it's usually quite light for a voice. So just choose any note and just sing me an ooh. Very light.
Ooh, ooh,
Okay.
ooh.
So the first one, you noticed that it was slightly breaking, didn't you? Because of the
Yes.
scratchiness in your
Yes.
throat. So
But
then
then I went up into my head.
yeah, let's use a head voice. It's great. Again, really good for clearing. So you choose a note. Are you singing? Has the microphone gone off? Because it does that sometimes in Zoom.
What?
Did you make a sound, or was that just you were doing it in your mind?
No, I was singing.
You were, yeah.
I hear
Sometimes it
it.
just turns the sound off. It's like stupid.
Well,
Anyway.
I wonder if this is I have on a podcast microphone. Maybe I should unplug it and use my computer
It's
mic.
it's usually just Zoom. It,
Oh, it is?
it
They
asked me
cut
at the
off at a
beginning, "Are
certain
you playing
frequency?
music?" And I should have said, "Yes, I am." That would have been good.
Oh,
But
that's
um,
interesting. I did not know that.
yeah, let's do original sound for musicians. I don't know if that's going to work, but we can try it. It might not work, but we're doing it for you anyway, so I could see what you were doing. But when you do that ooh, so I'm going to demonstrate, you want to kind of, again, imagine that the ooh is in this part of your head. So,
Okay.
ooh, I don't know if you can hear that. It's very gentle. Ooh, just your normal head voice, like a little choir girl. Ooh. Okay, because we're going to use that and we're going to expand it with a bit more power. So just play around with that super light sound. I can't hear you at all, but I know you're doing it.
You really can't because I
No,
can hear
it's just
you.
cut it off. It's nuts, isn't it? Now let's do ooh 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 ee,
I'm
ooh.
gonna unplug my mic. I
Okay.
just want to try it.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's see if that helps. Ooh, see, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
that's voice mic, speaking mic. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to use that? That's very nice. It's an E or something, isn't it? Or a D. And now do use ooh 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 on that note. Can you do it quite fast? Ooh 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 ooh. Good. Can you feel that in your ears a little bit?
Yes, I
Yes.
feel
Good.
like a machine.
Good. So we're just building little steps. So
Okay.
now from the we've had that, normal thing ah to a and now we've got the ooh you just in the head voice. So now you're going to take the ooh and you're going to add some power from here. So start in a quite like ooh. Very light to start with. Let's cut that out again.
It did?
Yeah, isn't that nuts? Anyway, I know you did it because I could see your muscles working.
Oh my gosh, and you didn't hear any of it? How come I can hear,
This is why I always record on my phone as well.
but I can hear yours?
I know with some reason it's been nice today, but I've had things where I've recorded stuff and it's disappeared the sound. So yeah, yeah. That's so okay. Let me just think what we're gonna do. Okay, yeah. So because I didn't hear what you did, I'm going to watch you a little bit closer and do that again. So go from a very light ooh to a bit of power, and I just want to see what I need to help you do.
Okay. What am I doing? I'm doing ooh,
You can do ooey ooey ooh, or you can just do ooh from very light ooh
oh, that's right.
to a power with the diaphragm. Okay. Yeah, no, you're using all the right muscles. I can see that because your back's straightening up. Couldn't hear that though. Heard the beautiful first sound and then it disappeared. So, okay. Okay, right. So now
Oh,
we're
now
going to
it
take
just
that.
started to disappear.
Did that disappear? As soon as I put an overtone, it will disappear. So I'm going to, I know it's a little bit tricky online, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh well.
We're going to just go from the quiet little ooh to the power ooh, and then you're going to just change the shape of your mouth like that.
To what? Like that?
Slowly. So it's like I'll demonstrate. You may or may not hear. So I'm going to go quiet ooh, big ooh, and then I'm going to change the shape of my mouth. Okay, so
Right.
ooh. I'm just do that because I changed the shape of my mouth. I'm changing the way the overtones are moving, and you might be able to hear the harmonics in your voice.
You just,
It didn't,
that's crazy. The minute I said I can hear you, I stopped hearing you. I think we've got little
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Well, there are gremlins.
Oh, you can hear her? Let's change that. Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm going to do it anyway.
So I heard that the first moment you went to the E, I heard a little high harmonic and then it cut out. But did you hear any of the harmonics?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Okay. So this is the way to the overtone. And
if I do a lower tone, could you hear it?
Yeah, let's try and lower tone. Now that's interesting because most of the real sound was cut out, but the overtones were left in, so I could hear the harmonics. So you really just blow your mouth into these different shapes. And yeah, and you'll notice how the harmonics, you can do the arpeggio, you know, ba 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 ba, or you can do ba 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 with the harmonics by changing the shape of your face. So you don't really want to think about, when you've got a sore throat, you don't want to think about singing, but you want to use those tools because you're shaking out the gunk. Okay. And then, because it's still a bit sore, and I'm kind of feeling that. Let's see what else we can do for...
You're feeling my soreness?
Yeah, but that's my job.
Suddenly I'm like, I'm also, my energy hasn't been great. You know, I mean, I'm acting as if it's normal, but it really isn't.
You really need to get it cleared. Okay, let's look down in the lungs now, because that's the next thing. So don't think about volume. Don't even think about whether I can hear it. I'll feel into you. Imagine now, instead of where we were imagining the sound into your face, I'd like you to imagine into your, diaphragm, literally the V below your, where your ribs open. Imagine that's where the sound is, because that's where most of the trapped gunk will be in lungs, as you know. You know, that last third of the lungs is always where the stuff sticks. Yeah. So this time, whatever note you choose, and do an oo or an e, you choose, because you might sort of fluctuate between the two, as gentle as you want to make it, but just your aim with your mind is to reverberate down here.
Okay.
Cool. Now, did you hear before you did the E, the last part of your oo was really starting to make a beautiful shape. Did you feel that? Hear that?
No, but I'm glad you did.
You didn't? What's going on? I heard it starting to kind of really expand, where it takes on its own form with no effort. It's basically your resonance. That's what we're looking for.
I know that feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there, you got it there. Yes, there. Can you feel it? The beginning was sort of effort, but
I actually kind of changed I opened my mouth just a tad bit more. And then and you were like, there it is.
And you relax the throat as well, don't you? When you open the mouth, you slightly relax the throat. So it's you've got this intelligence between. It's amazing, isn't it? The way it works, just crazy. But that kind of connection, and so it actually allows that to relax more when you just slightly change the mouth. So you kind of want like a big bear cave. That's the feeling we're going for. Because again, you want to reverberate those lungs. Again, you're helping.
I like bear cave. That's my power animal, bear. So, get in a cave.
We nailed it.
Anyway.
Okay, try that. Will you try that again? So again, very gentle to yourself and your voice. Very, very gentle. But the idea is you're filling that cave.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting it there. So don't go for such long breaths because you're kind of almost, that's too much work. Don't bother about how long your breaths are for now.
I didn't feel worky. I didn't feel work. I was a bear in a cave.
Yeah, the end, I'd almost like you to just, as soon as you get into the cave and you know you're there, then maybe take another breath and do more of the cave, because then we can kind of broaden it and experience a little more there.
All right.
Okay, no, I sadly couldn't hear those, but I could see you doing it. Yeah, I know.
That was a low
C'est la
tone.
vie, c'est la very strange vie. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's very strange. So let's do, there's one other thing that I know is going to help, and that is, you know, vocal slides when you go from high to low and from low to high. So like, so you're using these muscles down here and then you take them up to there.
Or you're going up into your head, so you're going from
A
your
little bit more kind of. So I'm not really going very high. You can do that to 3 octaves if you really want to, but it's much easier if you're standing up. You know, we're both sitting, aren't we? But even just over an octave, just that your E, you're kind of up here in your face, and then you aim to go down into your diaphragm. And that's, again, a really good way of, you're basically, because most of the time when we sing and talk, we use certain muscles a lot here. We're now adding in some other so that there's no strain, but there's recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would go from high to low. Just choose a sort of, you know, relative.
Oh, I changed the whole tone.
Yeah, okay. And let's try ooh to E. So ooh, ooh. Have a go. Okay, so when you go when you go into your ooh down here, this is the cave. We're hitting the bear cave. Okay, so
Right.
again, it shouldn't be power or effort. It should be more like fun and happy with the bear. Ooh,
Okay.
I'm in the bear space. Now, I couldn't hear any of that, but I could see that you were more relaxed. Certainly.
I was having fun.
Yeah. Okay. So, originally we were doing this because of using your voice for all kinds of things, like powerfully talking to the wind and channeling through your spirit and doing all kinds of things. And I know you do that with your songs that you bring forth, but just the abstract sound. So when you use these kind of other places, the more of the sort of, you know, Azerbaijani singers or the Georgian women singing, you know, they're right in the back of their throat and they're down. And then they kind of float these top notes. So we're just kind of going into spaces that I'm a bit gunked up for some reason. But I think I'm just, because I'm working with you, I'm doing a simpatico thing with your voice, which is just always fascinating how it works. So I think if you play with the slides, so from E to and revel in that bear, but lightly, you play with the E ooh up here.
Okay.
And just very light singing up to the of that overtone, you're going to slowly get your voice back. Now, the next thing to do would be that we'd take a few different notes. So we move up and down so we can widen your scale. And of course, each note is going to do a slightly different shaking out for the recovery of your full voice and to, help all this gunk move. I'd be fascinated to see how fast you can get it out of your system with the steaming and just playing around with some of this.
I would be fascinated to find out also.
Yeah.
I mean, my voice already sounds different
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it is. It's slightly smoother up there, isn't it? The higher notes are smoother.
It sounds different.
Yeah.
It almost sounds normal. Wow.
Yeah. And what you've also got, we've got seconds left, but your ears have opened up a bit more. I can hear that too. That's when you go up into the mask. Okay. What I'd love to do now, I think would work really well, is to do some humming. So when you hum, do you do a or do you do a hmm? How do you hum?
Okay.
M's. Okay. So again, I want you to choose your note, but if you don't like the note you've chosen, you can go up or down on it. And just lightly, not with pressure, just hum, just so I can hear what's going on.
I don't hum a lot.
No, okay, let's just take one
Nope.
maximum two notes. Let's just take
Okay.
one note,
Okay.
one, two notes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's still
You hear
quite,
that?
yeah, I can hear that. I heard it. Woo. Now that's quite in your spoken range, isn't it? Some of
Yeah.
those. So let's take a higher note as well. That's a good one.
Oh boy, that's right in my nasal cavity.
Yeah, and can you feel it though as well? It was going into your lungs as you went down. So, yeah, so as you hum, try and imagine it's coming out of your nose only. Just imagine it, it helps. So the lighter you can be on that, so like being as though you're made of porcelain. So we're so used to sing and then it's like power. I don't want any power. I just want very light. So where can you feel that in your face and head?
The
Yeah.
lower note right here. I'm not really. The higher note doesn't. I don't feel it anywhere, which is interesting.
For me, I'm feeling it in here, in you.
Here, that would make
like
sense.
in behind the eyes. So, have your eyes been okay since that fog, or have they been a bit twitchy too? Out of interest.
Well, my eyes are kind of twitchy. I unfortunately made a poor decision years ago and had cataract surgery, which I regret deeply. But
Okay, I want you to choose a note for your eyes, and it's going to be hummed.
a note for my eyes. Oh, I like that.
And you might need to wiggle around until you find it. Yeah, I think it is that note though.
Oh, they liked that very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Oh, it's like a little bee just kind of buzzing through my eyes.
And I can feel it kind of going through your eyes and down the back of your head, down your back. Can you feel that? Because that's all the neurons, there's so much going on there, isn't there? That's
Yeah.
just play with that for your eyes, okay? Because it's bizarre how
I just needed this reminder.
yeah.
I needed this reminder of really. I mean, I've done this with people actually in sound healing, like moved sound from their bottom through and blown out stuff. And it's like, I'm like, why haven't I been doing this with my,
Well, we
but
do forget.
I haven't been using my voice. And, I have to tell you something if it's okay. I wanted to join this choir. right? And they sing at the bedsides of people who are passing.
Yeah.
And I went to their rehearsal, and it was like listening to angels. And I realized I haven't used my voice enough. I was like, this is so beautiful, but I don't have an angelic voice at this point in my life. I mean, at times I have. So this is like, and I was like, why don't I just start using my voice again?
Yeah.
Because they're like, if things change, if you feel differently, come back.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way I could blend in with these, because,
I'm going to give you two nice little tips then, which is so simple, but really, really make a difference. So there will be one room in your house, wherever you live, that is echoey. That's the one you need to play in
okay,
because you need to be able to hear yourself. The better you hear yourself, the more you love yourself, the better you adjust your sound. So that's one way to do that. And the second way is a silly little trick, but take your ears, where you got the really squishy bit down here, but then it starts to build to that cartilage just at the point where it gets. So just press out with both fingers behind the ear and make a note. Just sing anything.
no.
Can you hear yourself differently?
Oh, well, yeah, I got to go a little higher than I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Now, it's amazing. It is crazy. But as soon as you registered, you could hear yourself better, your note improved to me. It's just the feedback. You just give yourself more feedback that way.
right.
Very simple tool, but it just means that you can hear the sound coming out there better.
Yeah.
So you are just, you make all those micro adjustments much more efficiently. So it's just two really simple, nice little tricks.
It's,
You can
it's
play.
amazing what simple things can do, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I love it so much. I mean, I've had weird things, and I'm sure you've experienced this. I remember this moment back when I started to look into using the voice like this, and I got this lovely dairy woman. She was a farmer who, well, she worked for the farm, but she was in charge of the cows, and she was always singing with them. And she realized that she could use her voice somehow more powerfully. And I told her about the day I just nearly put my shoulder out. Basically, I knew it was about to go out. And I knew the note somehow, my intuition. Of course, I would totally understand that now, but this is back like 20 years ago. And I think it was a D or something. And I sang it, and I could feel my body just going, oh, it's all fine now. It
Yeah.
just was the a matching emotional pressure. It just
Yeah.
dissolved that.
Sound definitely does. I've had people who couldn't move, their back was frozen, and I've sat with them and found the note, and they sang right through it.
Yeah.
And, and it is amazing. That's why I'm like, why haven't I remembered this? But like you said, I just haven't, you know.
We just get into a trap of normality because it's not in the world out there. It's not in the air. It's not in the thought.
Well, it's not in, it's,
Yeah.
I'm not as involved in my sound healing as I used to be. And, and I just forget, I laugh. I'm like, I've probably forgotten more than a lot of people will ever know. I mean, because it's just, I'm always trying to expand, and learn and learn. And somehow I feel you perhaps are that way as well, where it's just like, give me more.
Yeah.
So thank you for reminding me,
You
which
just
I love
have
that.
to, remember to integrate it in everything you do now.
Right.
Like I would, even the vacuum cleaner, I just never like that sound. Okay. There are frequencies generated that we can't hear, but I feel and I don't like. So I always sing opera over the vacuum cleaner. I don't usually sing opera at all, but when the vacuum cleaner is, I always do. And it's because I need that frequency. The cat goes out the house. She hates it, that vacuum cleaner. Okay. And it's an expensive one. Um,
No, I can hear a vacuum sound right now. My dog hates them too. She barks at, she tries to attack it. Um, that's interesting because you said when we were talking for the podcast, you were like, I hate opera. So it's kind of like two sounds that you hate and they just cancel each other out. Like,
Yeah, except that I don't put vibrato in it. I was just, I sing Mozart and so on, but I don't put vibrato in. But even so it is, it would be considered opera. Yeah. But just that kind of it needed a full spectrum of sound to counteract the vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
How is your voice feeling now? Is it feeling strained?
Well, it feels good, but I feel tired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have, we've spoken a lot as well. I
Right.
just, you know all this, but just go and drink a whole load of nice things, whatever you want to drink. Um, and then I wouldn't play with it until maybe this evening, more of the sounds, just to give yourself some recovery time.
It's really kind of you to offer me this.
Well, I hope, when I edit it down, hopefully you'll see, you'll remember all these, there's about 8 different things that you can do. And will
Yeah.
just help.
Well, it's interesting. Like the timing, like I was saying about wanting to sing in a choir and wanting to sing again. And it's like, so this is great. Thank
Yes, we can do a little catch up at some point, just a short one, and
you.
in let's say 6 weeks' time,
Okay.
and you can tell me how it's feeling and clearing and so on, and what you've been doing with the voice. I mean, we can talk in between, but yeah, okay. I
All
shall.
right.
Okay, all right. Mwah. And look after you. Maybe do a steam. That would be amazing. A little 10-minute steam. Okay. Ah, really beautiful. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Bye.
Bye.